Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to Moor Park in Mooresville, North Carolina, for Game 2 of the season series between your Queen City Corndogs and the home team, the Mooresville Spinners. Seems like the Corndogs may be batting first, but actually you'd have that wrong because our very own Hannah Brady is on the mound-ish for the first pitch of this game, and that is going to be a ball. So the Corndogs, Hannah Brady, our sideline reporter and entertainment specialist, with a nice first pitch there to get things started. And now let's get the actual game underway. The Corndogs come into this one sitting pretty at 9-3 on the season, 5-3 in conference play. The Spinners 4-2 in conference play, meaning that the outcome of this game could very well determine the standings in the SCBL after the end of tonight. The Spinners currently at first place and trying to defend their title as the leading in the clubhouse right now for the SCBL and doing well at that, and currently lead the season series versus the Corndogs 1-0 after last Wednesday. They came into the Friar and gave the Corndogs their worst loss of the season. Mooresville won that one 12-0 on a run rule, and Corndogs got blanked for the only time this season and allowed a season high in runs at the same time. Not a formula for winning at all. But the Corndogs, up to bat first, are going to look to try to change their fortune in Game 2. Came up here to Mooresville for the first time all season. A beautiful evening for baseball here as Moor Park is looking simply superb and a great setting for a conference game here. I'm Jonah Weintraub, and I'll be on the call tonight for your Queen City Corndogs. Happy to be bringing you this evening's game. First pitch set to get underway momentarily. As here we go. So first up to bat for the Corndogs is going to be Wilson Lohr. On the mound for the Spinners is one of their aces, number 29, Braden Kurtz. Kurtz has been one of the most productive pitchers for this squad this season. And his first pitch is going to be lined into the right center field gap, and it'll be a leadoff single for Wilson Lohr, who has been on fire to start off conference play, leading the Corndogs in average with .471 batting. And he's gotten up to 8 hits on the season, make it 9 now, as Cannon Pierce, the reigning SCBL Player of the Week, steps up to bat. First pitch that was seen in the game goes for the leadoff single as Kurtz winds this one up, and that one is fouled. Corndogs looking aggressive here in the first set of at-bats. Kurtz on the mound, one of the more productive pitchers for this Spinner squad. They really do it by committee, as that one is blasted foul. That would have been a huge hit had it stayed fair, and so make it an 0-2 count now on Cannon Pierce. Pierce didn't play in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, but in Game 1 went 3 of 4. Second on the Corndogs in batting average, as Lohr is going to go on this one, and that will be strike 3 to get Pierce looking. But Lohr will steal second, so now the first runner in scoring position for the Corndogs. Tyler Cotto now up to bat, for the Corndogs. Cotto, one of 3 Queen City players to go yard in yesterday's doubleheader, currently leads the SCBL in home runs with 3, and has 5 on the season overall. Has been an absolute weapon in the batter's box as that pitch from Kurtz is in there for strike number 1. 1 down for Kurtz and the Spinners. Lohr still on second base. Kurtz surveys him, throws this one in, and Cotto goes swinging on strike number 2. So another 0-2 count here for Kurtz. Kurtz on the season came into this game with 7 strikeouts and 3 innings of work, so very effective with his limited pitch count. as that one is blasted into the outfield, but it's going to go just foul. So Cotto keeps himself in the count here once again. Yesterday, as we mentioned with the home run, Cotto's 5th of the season, went 2 of 4 in game 1 with that 2-run blast in the 5th inning. Less successful in game 2, however, went 0 of 2. Got on base twice, though, with a walk and got hit by a pitch and scored both those times on base. As the 0-2 pitch comes in and is fouled off once again, the Corndogs looking aggressive here at the top of the 1st inning. And maybe that's well warranted after the first game between these squads, in which Mooresville steadily handled this QC squad. Kurtz throws that one into the dirt for ball number 1. Still just 1 out. The Corndogs won both their games yesterday to move to 5-3 in conference play. Had lost their prior 2, so now trying to piece together a 3-game win streak here, and it's a tall task as Kurtz has that one launched into the outfield, and it is going to go left for an RBI. Cotto rounding first will bring it into second and give the Corndogs their first run of the game. Wilson Lohr tags home, and after going scoreless against the Spinners in game number 1 of the season series, the Corndogs already get on the board here in the top of the 1st. That brings up number 42, Dylan Lewis. Again, one of the other players that hit a home run yesterday, and that was much needed for him. A power hitter in his own right, gets his first dinger of the season against the Regulators, and has that one fouled right to, blasted right to the second baseman, and the play made at first, an easy one right there. Corndogs coming out here swinging on the first pitches that they've been seeing. So a ground out there for the second of the inning for Lewis. And as Cotto able to advance to third, and now Will Budnick up the bat. That was the first run allowed of the year by Braden Kurtz, as he throws strike number 1 on the lefty right here. Kurtz, who attends George Washington University, entering his junior year there, has that one. Did he go? And it looks like he did, so we're going to rule that an 0-2 count now, and Kurtz just 1 pitch away from bringing this thing to the bottom of the 1st. Budnick has his college teammate at Queens on third base. Has to defend the plate here, as Kurtz deals that one in and gets Cotto swinging, his second strikeout of the inning for Kurtz. And that sends us to the bottom of the 1st with the Corndogs up 1-0 here. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 1st after this quick break. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the first inning here with the Corndogs. Out to an early 1-0 lead. And now the first pitch of the game from number 20, Tyler Hall, taking the bump tonight for your Corndogs. And up to bat, the leadoff is number 11, Adams Fawcett. Goes to Limestone College. And now it's a 1-1 count here after that first strike from Hall. Hall was last on the mound for Game 1 versus the Regulators. Game 1 of the season, not either of the games yesterday. As now that ball that bounced off the dirt goes for ball number 2, 2-1 count on Fawcett. Fawcett, the lefty from Jonesville, South Carolina. Batting .300 in conference play so far this season. Getting his first look at Tyler Hall on the night as that pitch is high for ball number 3. Tyler Hall, that last start against the Regulators, went 3 scoreless innings as he walks Fawcett there. 3 scoreless innings with 6 strikeouts and only allowed 2 hits. Trying to build on that fantastic performance is Hall. As that brings up number 47, Aiden Evans. Evans, 1 of 3 in conference play, getting the start tonight, is the sophomore from Cornelius, North Carolina. As that pitch from Hall is cranked over to St. John, and that will be a beautiful 5-4-3 double play to get the first and second outs of the inning for the Corndogs. Go to work right there by Miller St. John, who's getting his second start of the season for the Corndogs and really bringing a lot of much-needed defense to the infield, as the past few games leading up to yesterday were not the finest moments for this QC squad, and his insertion into the lineup has certainly helped. As Hall has that pitch lined right down the center, and the first base hit of the night on the first pitch to number 6, Noah Love. And Love, the Limestone College senior, has been fantastic so far in conference play. Batting a hair under .300 with 5 hits. As that brings up number 35, Davis Turner. Turner, another Limestone College product in this Spinners lineup with a runner on first, 2 outs now for Hall. Oh, and actually, it looks like the double play wasn't a double play. They might have ruled him safe at first, and now there's actually 2 runners on, only 1 out. As that pitch goes right down Main Street for a ball for strike number 1. Davis Turner at the bag right now. 5'11", 190 from Mooresville. Playing for his hometown team. Has a 1-1 count now after that pitch from Hall goes low, and Hall only allowed 2 hits the entire game against the Regulators when he started, and so far here in the bottom of the first has allowed 2 hits, one of them being a fielder's choice, however. So nevertheless, a 1-1 count here on Turner as he takes time to step out of the box. Turner has been, if not the most productive hitter, the most productive power hitter for this Spinners roster so far, as he cranks that one into the outfield, and will it be right at the fence? That will bring 2 runners home, it appears, and give the Spinners their first lead of the game, as a double from Turner, who's batting .400 on the season, leads the Spinners in home runs and brings home 2 right here for the first runs allowed in quite some time from Tyler Hall. And that'll send up number 7, Steven Smith. One of 4 guys in this lineup that attends Emory and Henry College. Smith, an infielder from Salisbury, North Carolina, batting .214 on the year, and now with the runner in scoring position after the hit from Turner gave the Spinners their first lead of the game, and that one is popped straight up, and it goes right over to Miller St. John, who gets the second out of the inning for the Corndogs, as both teams here have been uber aggressive right out of the gate. Love to see that here on a beautiful Tuesday night. And that will bring up number 25, Cole Drury, a sophomore from Shelby, North Carolina. Drury, the 5'11 righty, sees that pitch go low for ball number 1 as Tyler Hall and the Corndogs trying to get out of this inning after allowing 2 runs here in the bottom of the first. That pitch is right in there for strike number 1, so evens up the count, and Turner heads back on over to second base. Hall, who goes to Lander University from Waxhaw, North Carolina, has been super productive for the Corndogs, as that's going to be strike number 2, looking on Drury, and a chance here for Queen City to bring this to the top of the second inning. 1-2 count. Drury defending the plate as Hall checks back on Turner, and that is going to be ball number 2 as went low. Tyler Hall entered this game with a total of 5 innings on the season, 9 strikeouts, among the team leaders for the Corndogs, and ERA of 1.4, so very productive so far for Tyler Hall, as that one makes this a full count. The pitch bounces off the dirt and right into the glove of catcher Harrison Boothellette for the Corndogs tonight. Boothellette should be, we'll see, an at-bat in the top of the second. And now it's just trying to get it there, but that one is blasted into the outfield, and it is gone! Home run for Cole Drury. His first home run of the SCBL season, bringing home Turner and giving the Spinners a 4-1 lead. Big hit right there to center from Drury, as the Catawba Valley College sophomore extends the lead for the Spinners. And a meeting on the mound here for Harrison Boothellette and Tyler Hall. The Corndogs had a nice start to this one, but are quickly digging themselves a hole here. So with a 4-1 lead here in the bottom of the first, number 30, Jacob Beber, a designated hitter tonight who goes to Caldwell Community College, steps up to bat for Mooresville. In game 1 between these two squads, Beber went 2 of 3, trying to recreate that success here tonight. And the first pitch is going to be lined foul, so an 0-1 count. And Beber from Taylorsville, North Carolina, trying to keep the good times going here for his Spinners, as that pitch is going to be ball number 1. And so far, both teams have been really swinging the bats hard, as that one goes for ball number 2. But the Spinners just a little bit harder, as that 2-run home run right there from Drury, the difference maker so far, as Hall has that one popped straight up. And so now count evens up at 2, and once again for Hall, a strike away from bringing this thing to the top of the second. No runners on, 2 outs, and that's going to be ball number 3, it looks like. Beber checked on that one. Had to get a second opinion there from the first base umpire, so now with a full count once again, Tyler Hall has that one go low, and a nice quality at bat right there for Beber, as the Spinners now with another base runner. And that sends up number 3, Jared Foley. Another one of those Emory and Henry College products for the Spinners. Foley, number 3, playing in the outfield tonight. And he sees that pitch go high for ball number 1. Tyler Hall, who ended as the leading strikeout man for the Corndogs after his last performance, has now been surpassed as time has gone on, but nevertheless, could really use one of those strikeouts right now, as he's in his 6th inning pitch of the season, and that one is lined straight to St. John, who flips it over to the second baseman tonight for the Corndogs, and that's Garrett Sanner, which brings things here to the top of the second, but not without damage from the Spinners. Drury with a 2-run home run, and the Corndogs down 1-4 as we enter the top of the second after this quick timeout. Top of the second inning here between the Mooresville Spinners and your Queen City Corndogs. And leading off for the Corndogs is number 4, Caleb Singleton. Singleton went yard last night in the second game of the doubleheader and sees pitch 1 drop in right there for strike number 1 for Braden Kurtz, who allowed 1 run, his first of the season, in the top of the first, but got some help from his offense in the bottom half of the inning as a 3-run lead here for Kurtz to protect, and a quick 0-2 count on Singleton. As Singleton, did he go? No, he didn't. So 1-2 count now on Caleb Singleton, who's batting .281 on the year, 9 hits, 8 RBIs. Singleton with that home run last night, as that one bounces over the head of the catcher. Behind the plate tonight is Davis Turner, who hit that double and was brought home with the home run from Drury. And up for the Corndogs this inning is Singleton right now, then Garrett Sanner and Harrison Buthelette, as Singleton tips that one back foul, keeps the count at 2 up. Singleton, in those 2 games yesterday, only went 1 of 7, but the one hit was the one over the right field wall, so can't complain too much, as the Greenwood, South Carolina native went yard for only the second time in his collegiate career, as that one is going to be a strikeout for Singleton, and Turner finishes it up at first place. So the third strikeout of the night for Braden Kurtz, as Garrett Sanner heads up to bat for the Corndogs. Sanner hasn't played since that Lake Norman game, getting some much-needed rest, leading the Corndogs in hits on the season, as that pitch is just low for ball number 1. Sanner, batting .382, has mainly been the leadoff guy for the Corndogs, but has gotten a little cold here in the past stretch of games, only batting .176 in conference play, and trying to refine the mojo he had to start off this season so hot, as that is going to be a ball right there. So 3-0 count against Sanner, who has had 12 hits of his 13 go for singles this year. So hitting for contact, not power. That one gets some loft under it, though, but not enough as it's caught in the outfield right there by the Spinners and make it 2 outs and 2 at-bats for Kurtz, who after allowing the 1 run has settled in.
Now batting the catcher, number 37, Machete Buoletti.
And that sends up Harrison Bouthelet. Bouthelet is playing at the catcher tonight for the Corndogs. Has 7 hits, 8 RBIs on the season so far, as that's ball number 1. Bouthelet went 0-4 in 2 games combined yesterday. Got a strike right there, so make it a 1-1 count now on Bouthelet as Kurtz finding a rhythm right here on the bump for the Spinners, and Bouthelet takes that pitch for another strike. So now 1 pitch away here from bringing things to the bottom of the second is Kurtz. And Bouthelet, who leads the team in strikeouts, has been feast or famine for him. And right there, it's famine as he strikes out once again and brings us to the bottom of the second inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Spinners, and momentum all with Mooresville right now as we go to the bottom of the second here with Mooresville up 4-1. All right, welcome back here. And live action from Moor Park, bottom of the second inning between your Queen City Corndogs and the home Spinners. And a great start here from Mooresville as they've gotten out to a 4-1 lead. And back up to bat are the Spinners, leading off with number 2, Mason Lyda. Lyda's one of the few players for this Spinners team to get run in all 5 conference games that they've played up to this point. Well, 5 of the 6. Mason batting .200 on the conference season, as that's going to be strike number 2, a 1-2 count here as Tyler Hall on the mound for the Corndogs, looking to bounce back from that 4-run bottom of the first. And that one's high and inside for ball number 2. Evens up the count right here. Lyda leads the Spinners in strikeouts on the season and gets another one right there. His 6th strikeout of SCBL campaign. And the first out of the inning for the Corndogs, which sends up number 8, and that's Wyatt Stone. Wyatt Stone, 2 of 4 in 3 games of conference play. Another lefty in the order sees that pitch go in for strike number 1. Stone, who goes to Limestone College, fitting with a name like that, is from Fountain Inn, South Carolina, and now tied in the count 1-1. Tyler Hall, the rising senior, has that ball dropping, but it's not going to go enough for a strike, so bring it to a 2-1 count now. 1 out, no runners on for Stone to work with. Stone, a 6-foot, 185-pounder, hits that one straight to Tyler Cotto, who's playing at first base. And this might be the first time we've seen Cotto play on the infield the entire season. Really has been playing exclusively at that designated hitter / extra hitter position for the Corndogs, but makes the out right there and looks like a natural over there at first. So with 2 down, the top of the order coming back up here for the Spinners. Number 11, Adams Fawcett, teammate of Wyatt Stone's at Limestone College. Has that pitch and dribbles it out, foul, so an 0-1 count here on Fawcett as the 300 hitter from South Carolina. Putting the Spinners' rotation back in order. The outfielder takes that one outside for ball number 1, so a 1-1 count. And Tyler Hall loads this one in for strike number 2, and 1 pitch away here for Hall and the Corndogs. And this would be a much-needed rebound of an inning here as Fawcett, the lefty, swings and misses on that one. Tyler Hall with a ton of poise in that inning, comes back from giving up 4 and goes 3 up, 3 down, and caps it off with a strikeout for the Corndogs. We'll bring this thing to the 3rd inning at the end of this quick break. Top of the 3rd inning here for the Corndogs as that's Miller St. John in the box for Queen City. St. John just joined the team as he swings and misses right there for strike number 2. St. John just joined the team from Gaston College after their run through the Junior College World Series. And that's going to be strike number 3. So St. John goes down in 3 pitches, and that is the 4th strikeout, 5th strikeout of the contest already for Kurtz, as that sends up Nathan Sammy. Nathan Sammy number 5 for the Corndogs, playing at the 5 tonight, the third baseman. And up in the count 1-0 after that ball. Sammy went 1 of 4 between the two games yesterday. Got walked twice and had an RBI, so now up 2-0 in the count. Sammy, the Charlottean, takes that pitch low off the dirt for ball number 3, and Sammy, who got walked twice yesterday, on the verge of adding another base on ball to his resume, as Kurtz, with no runners on, 1 out, gears this one up, and it's right down Main Street for strike number 1. Sammy still ahead in the count here. Kurtz trying to climb back in it. The righty loads this one in, and that's going to be ball number 4, just high. So the first base runner of the inning for the Corndogs, and that sends us back to the top of the order here.
Center fielder number 12, Dick Lord.
So Sammy on first after the walk, and Wilson Lohr got a leadoff single on the first pitch he saw to lead things off here from Moor Park. The lefty has been on a tear recently, as that pitch is low for ball number 1. Lohr went 1 of 3 in game 1 yesterday, then went 2 of 2 in game 2. Had a double in that 2 of 2 performance and scored twice, so very productive day against the Regulators for Lohr, as that one is grounded over to the shorts, the second baseman. The play not being able to be made right there. The throw errant over there is actually the first baseman. So an uncatchable throw for the Spinners puts 2 on base for the Corndogs, and a little bit of luck there, but can't complain about that. And make that back-to-back singles now for Wilson Lohr, with Cannon Pierce stepping into the box. The tying run at the plate now for Queen City. Pierce, the lefty from UNC Asheville, sees that pitch go in for strike number 1. So with 1 out, 2 runners on, the Corndogs hitting the heart of their lineup right now. Pierce with Cotto on base. And Pierce has the most doubles on the team with 3. Tied his second in extra base hits with 4. Cannon Pierce has been a revelation here for Queen City, as the lefty takes that one in the dirt, and it looks like both runners are going to advance. Nice play right there, as the error behind the plate on the wild pitch. Number 35, Davis Turner, couldn't corral that one in for the Spinners, and now 2 in scoring position here, 1 out, and a 1-1 count for Cannon Pierce. Pierce batting .462 on the season on a high volume, as that one is chopped over to second base. The play made at first, but the RBI comes in, so Nathan Sammy scurries across home plate to bring this lead within 2. And Wilson Lohr advances to third base. So that sends up Tyler Cotto, who doubled in his last at-bat. The best power hitter in the SCBL, with Lohr on third, 2 outs. And a chance here for the Corndogs to make some waves. The 3-hitter has been nothing short of fantastic with the barrel of his bat, as he swings on the first pitch he sees from Kurtz, and mark it down as an 0-1 count now. Kurtz, who came into this game without a single run allowed on the season, has now had 2 brought in, as that one is fouled. Sits pretty right in the right batter's box. As now a 1-1 count against Cotto. Well, actually, it should be a 1-2 or an 0-2. The scoreboard is lying to us over here at Moor Park. And, okay, 0-2 count. That's what we thought. So the pitch from Kurtz goes in, and it is lined right to the second baseman. The flip made to first, and the catch made by number 6 at first. That's Noah Love securing the third out of the inning for the Corndogs. So another run for Queen City to bring this game to a 4-2 lead for the Spinners as Mooresville heads back up to bat after this quick timeout. All right, welcome back here for action between the Corndogs and the Spinners. Bottom of the third inning here for number 47, Aiden Evans, who goes on the first pitch. So Tyler Hall picking up right where he left off in the bottom of the second inning with a scoreless 3-up, 3-down affair, and that one's fouled back, bringing the count to 0-2 now. Evans from Cornelius, North Carolina, attends Wilmington University and now seeing his second at-bat of the evening. And that is going to be strike number 3, caught looking, and Tyler Hall has really settled into this contest. As number 6, Noah Love, heads up again for his second at-bat of the affair. Tyler Hall allowed 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning and has now retired the last 4 batters that he's seen, as Love doesn't go on that one, which bounces into the dirt, trickles back here towards me along the stop. As that one is grounded over to Nathan Sammy at third, makes the play at first base. Cotto reels it in, and so now 5 down in a row for Tyler Hall, and a solid throw made by Nathan Sammy over at third. And that sends up Davis Turner, who doubled the first time he saw Tyler Hall. Number 35 for this Spinner squad. Davis, now 7 hits on the season, trying to make it 8 right there, but draws no contact, and down to the count 0-1, Tyler Hall. Had to go over a few road bumps here, but with strike number 2 is now just 1 pitch away from back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings, as the Lander University product has been fantastic, and that one is right down for a strike. Make it 3 pitches, 3 strikes on Turner, and Tyler Hall, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game. That brings us to the top of the 4th inning, in which the Corndogs have a chance to chip away at this deficit. Spinners on top 4-2 at the end of 3. All right, welcome back. Top of the fourth inning here. And leading things off for your Queen City Corndogs is number 42, Dylan Lewis, who swings on the first pitch, tried to pull back but was unable to, so a quick 0-1 count now on Lewis. And Braden Kurtz has thrown a gem so far as he gets ahead on the count 0-2 early. So far, Kurtz has thrown 5 strikeouts and 3 innings of work. Corndogs make it 6 now, as the Corndogs only struck out 5 times in total in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. Make it 6 now for Kurtz, who is wheeling and dealing on the mound for the Spinners. Will Budnick up at the plate now for Queen City, as Budnick fouls that one off for strike number 1. And Budnick, who struck out his first time up, now quickly in an 0-2 hole. And after the first inning had a combined 5 runs between the two teams, this one has turned into a pitcher's duel, but that one bounces off the chest plate of Davis Turner behind home and gets the first ball of the inning here for Kurtz, who has been nothing short of sensational. And that is going to be grounded over to first base. The play not going to count, though, as it just squeaks foul, and probably for the better for Will Budnick, as that one looked like the play was easily going to be made by Noah Love at first. So the lefty from Queens, 0-1 on the night. Seeing his second at-bat of the contest, and that one is going to be a ball high for ball number 2. Even count now, as Kurtz gets Budnick swinging once again. Turner finished the play off at first, and 2 up, 2 down here for Kurtz, as Caleb Singleton steps up for his second at-bat. Singleton also struck out when he faced Kurtz for the first time. And Braden Kurtz has put on a show with 7 strikeouts thus far. And that one's fouled left by Singleton. Singleton, the 6', 165-pounder who can really move. The fastest guy on this Corndogs roster. And it looks like that pitch hit off Singleton. So the first base runner of the inning, courtesy of a hit by pitch, sends up Garrett Sanner for his second at-bat after he popped up the last time he went up to the plate. Garrett Sanner went 1 of 5 with 2 strikeouts and a single in his last outing against the Copperheads in a game that the Corndogs ended up losing 5-8. Back in the lineup for tonight's big contest, in which the winner could potentially move to first place in the conference, barring some other results, of course, in the SCBL this evening. And that's going to be ball number 1 on Sanner. Sanner has tied the team lead in strikeouts on the season, yet still is batting .382, and that one is blasted into the outfield, but the line drive goes straight into the mitt of the outfielder, and that will send us to the bottom of the 4th with the Corndogs still down 2-4 to the Spinners. We'll be right back after this quick break. Back here for the bottom of the fourth inning between your Queen City Corndogs and the Mooresville Spinners as number 7, Steven Smith, say that 3 times in a row, takes ball 1 from Tyler Hall, who was retired the last 6 spinners that he's seen. And both teams now trying to make the next punch as that's in there for strike number 1, Tyler Hall, who entered today's game with a 1.4 ERA, allowed 4 in the top of the first, and since then has looked money as this one goes off the dirt for ball number 2, bringing the count to 2-1 now. As Steven Smith, 5'9", 160 righty, chips that one over to Miller St. John, who makes the play, throwing it over to Cotto at first. 7 in a row now for Tyler Hall, as that will bring up, looks like number 25, Cole Drury. And for those of you who weren't with us, Drury, in a 2-0 game, gave the Spinners 2 more with a huge blast to center field as he takes strike number 1 looking. So Drury, 1 of 1 on the night with the long bomb, as that'll go low for ball number 1. And that one is hit up into the left center gap, unable to get it as Singleton, and that'll be the first base runner in quite some time for the Spinners. So a single here for Drury, who's 2 of 2 on the night, as number 30, Jacob Beber, steps up with the runner on first. 1 out. As Hall gets ahead on the count with a nice strike. And Hall, with the runner on, facing Beber, who was 2 of 3 the last time these two teams squared off. And that one fouled right back towards us. So make the count 0-2 on Beber. Drury still at first, with just a moderate lead as Hall throws that one low for the first ball of the at-bat. Makes the count 1-2 in favor of the Corndogs, as the Spinners trying to avoid making it 3 straight innings without a run after opening up the game with a 4-pack. As the steal trying to be made by Drury will get there in time, but it will be a... Okay, so 2-2, not going to be ruled a strikeout there. So the count even at 2. Drury now in scoring position after picking up the steal. And Beber aims to capitalize for the Spinners. Hall launches this one in and gets another strikeout, so 2 down. As number 3, Jared Foley, heads up to bat with Drury still on second base. Jared Foley, a senior from Sparta, North Carolina. 6'1" righty. Cranks that one into right field, and it is caught. Play made by Dylan Lewis, falling forward in the outfield and sending the Corndogs to the top of the 5th in a game that the Spinners lead 4-2. We'll be right back for the next inning after this quick timeout. top of the 5th inning here between the Corndogs and wrong game. The Spinners, as Queen City back up to bat. Braden Kurtz still on the mound for the Spinners. Has 2 runs through 4 innings. Has a plethora of strikeouts. 7 to be exact. And that'll be ball number 1 on Harrison Boothlet up to bat. And that'll be a strike, so the count evens out at 1. Boothlet, his last time up, went down swinging, but to be fair, so have most of the Corndogs that have faced Kurtz tonight, as that pitch is way down low for ball number 2. Sun setting over here in the left field wall as Corndogs and the Spinners going deeper into this game, and that pitch also low. So 3-1 count now on Boothlet. Number 37 playing catcher tonight. Has 1 home run on the season for Queen City. And hits that one right down the center, and an error made at shortstop. Play unable to be made, bouncing off the chest of, it looks like it was shortstop number 2, Mason Lida. Couldn't reel that one in. So a base runner here for the Corndogs in the top of the 5th inning. And that sends up Miller St. John, who went down in 3 pitches the last time he stepped up. The Gaston College product here for his 3rd game of action as he settles into the SCBL play, and that one is fouled for a ball. No, strike number 1, excuse me. Boothlet resides at first. No outs here for the Spinners as that one goes past Turner behind the plate and allows Boothlet to chug his way over to second base. Runner now in scoring position here for QC as Mooresville still trying to get their first out of the inning. 1-1 count on St. John, who had 43 hits during his season at Gaston College. And that one chopped towards the Spinners dugout, bringing the count to 1-2 now. On deck for the Corndogs is Nathan Sammy with Wilson Lohr in the hole follows him, the top of the order after Sammy. So St. John trying to defend the plate here, but unable to do so, goes out swinging, his 2nd strikeout of the game, and number 8 on the evening for Braden Kurtz, who has been putting on a clinic for Mooresville. It brings up Nathan Sammy, number 5, who walked his last time up. One of the 2 Corndogs to score a run tonight, as Sammy with 3 hits on the season, yet to record an RBI, but a chance to do that right here as Boothlet taking a lead at second. Kurtz throws that one right down Central Avenue for strike number 1. 1 out for Mooresville. As Kurtz winds up another one, and that time Turner is able to bring it in. A nice play behind the plate for number 35 on this Mooresville squad. As after a ton of fireworks in the 1st inning with 5 runs scored combined, a home run, and that ball in the dirt for ball number 2. But after that 5-run inning, things have really settled down here as in the top of the 5th, Corndogs and Spinners have only gotten 1 since, as that one is fouled back. And make it a 2-2 count now on Nathan Sammy. Sammy, who attends Middlebury College. Put up some solid batting numbers for Middlebury. Trying to find that same swing here against the Spinners tonight, as that's going to be high and bring up a full count. Braden Kurtz, the George Washington product, plays his ball in the capital city. 6'4", 200 junior. Gets a fly ball out of Sammy. That one goes into left center, and the play made and too shallow for Bouthillette to tag and run. So now 2 outs in the top of the order here for the Corndogs. Which brings up Wilson Lohr for the 3rd round of at-bats for Queen City. Lohr has singled both times he stepped up tonight, continuing his really hot start to conference play. Have to assume now that his average is just kissing the 500 mark. It's earned him a spot at the top of the rotation, as the first pitch he sees gets him swinging, so make it strike 1. And now 2 pitches away from Kurtz. Bouthillette still on second base. Hasn't shown an indication of going yet. Though Kurtz surveys the situation, deals this in and gets another swing out of Lohr, and now just 1 strike away for the Spinners. Trying to bring this thing to the bottom of the 5th inning. Kurtz takes a deep breath, locks, loads, fires, and that one is popped up over the dugout of the Spinners, and that'll make it a 0-2 count still. Work for Lohr to do if he wants to extend this inning for his Corndogs, as the Charlotte native, who attends Southern Wesleyan, sees this pitch in, and it's high for ball number 1. This at-bat lives to see another day for Lohr. Corndogs scored once in the 1st, once in the 3rd. Trying to keep that odd inning streak going here and score once in the 5th, but Braden Kurtz trying to make sure that doesn't happen, but it looks like it is not. Bouthillette stops at 3rd. Thought maybe he was going to be able to round the base right there and bring that thing home, but nevertheless, a 3-hit night in 3 at-bats for Wilson Lohr. And runners on the corners for QC with Cannon Pierce up to bat. Pierce is 0 for 2 on the night with a strikeout and a fielder's choice. And fresh off winning SCBL Player of the Week, trying to show the fans here at Moor Park why. A steal attempt right here and no throw, so Lohr gets over to second. And 2 more in scoring position for the Corndogs, or 1 more for 2 in scoring position. And a 1-0 count on Pierce, as Kurtz trying to close the door before things get any suspect, as that one's fouled back by Cannon Pierce, evening the count at 1. Pierce has 9 RBIs on the season, among the team leaders in that category, and has the best OBP on the Corndogs roster, on base percentage, for those of you not familiar with the acronyms. 0 for 2 tonight. And that one goes past the catcher, but there was no play to be made, as Bouthillette wasn't going to try to risk it right there. So 2-1 count now on Cannon Pierce. Pierce, who's only behind Garrett Sander on this roster in terms of total hits, has racked up 12 knocks on the season, has Cannon. Batting a hair under 500. Arguably been the best statistical hitter for the Corndogs, and takes that one by the ankles for ball number 3. And a 3-1 count for Braden Kurtz, who is showing some signs of being a bit off after really ripping through the Corndogs lineup for a majority of this contest. In his 5th inning of work, loads this one in, and it is popped straight up, but will be caught. Play made right there. Had to track that one down myself, and a great play by number 3, Jared Foley, as that will leave 2 in scoring position on bases for the Corndogs and bring us to the bottom of the 5th inning with Mooresville retaining a 4-2 lead. All right, everyone. Bottom of the 5th inning here between the Spinners and the Corndogs. 4-2 affair still, as the first pitch of the inning is a strike swinging on number 2, Mason Lyda. Lyda, who's batting .200 through conference play, has 6 strikeouts on the season. One of them tonight, but that is a leadoff single into right field. And a nice start here in the bottom of the 5th for the Spinners. So Lyda takes first base as number 8, Wyatt Stone, up to bat. Stone, last in the order tonight for the Spinners. On deck is number 11, Adams Fawcett. And Tyler Hall, with no outs, 1 runner on, has that pitch fouled back. The Spinners have gone 3 innings without scoring after putting up 4 in the first. As that one is lined over to Sander at second, flips it to St. John. St. John to Cotto, gets the double play. A beautiful action right there for the Corndogs, and Miller St. John once again showing his prowess on the defensive side of the ball. Gives 2 outs to Tyler Hall on the mound as Adams Fawcett heads up for Mooresville. Fawcett, the leadoff hitter for the Spinners. Entering his sophomore year at at Limestone. He's from Jonesville, South Carolina, now playing at Limestone. And all these Limestone guys, teammates with Luke Harris, not in the game tonight for the Corndogs, but Harris has gotten some constant and steady action as an outfielder this season. And that pitch is in there for strike number 1 of the count. Make it 1-1 with 2 outs, no runners on. Tyler Hall trying to work on a 4 consecutive scoreless inning, but that one's going to be just high for ball number 2. Fawcett, the lefty, 5'11", 180 pounds, and goes swinging on that one up to nothing. So make it an even 2-2 count, and Tyler Hall just a pitch away from making quick work of this Mooresville side, though. His infielders have a lot to thank for that, as that one is going straight to center, tosses it over to Cotto, and 3 outs in 3 batters the unconventional way. A nice double play here in the bottom of the 5th. And so, after 5, Corndogs still down 2-4, but have a chance to chip into that lead as they are back up to bat for the top of the 6th after this break. All right, top of the 6th inning here between your Queen City Corndogs and the home team, the Mooresville Spinners. Mooresville put up 4 in the 1st inning, has yet to score since. Corndogs have scored 2 runs as Cotto blasts that one over, but it's going to be foul. So make it an 0-2 count here on Tyler Cotto, leading off the 6th inning for your Corndogs. Doubled his first at bat, then grounded out. And a new pitcher into the game as Cotto has that one take a fortunate bounce off and off the first base. That one took a nice skip, and Cotto is tagged out at second, hesitated on the turn, and what looked like a promising start to the inning quickly turns on the Corndogs. Cotto tagged out at second. Nice play made there, right there by the Spinners. As the new pitcher into the game for Mooresville is Drew Hopkinson, a 5'9", 190-pound righty from New Bern, North Carolina. Has yet to throw significant enough amount of pitches for statistical recognition. So getting his first major SCBL action is Drew Hopkinson, and that's going to be low on the second pitch. The count is not posted on the board, but should be 2-0 as Hopkinson has that one down for a ball, actually. So that one's not going to be in the zone and make the count 3-0 now for Dylan Lewis, who's 0 for 2 on the night after going yard yesterday. And Lewis will get his first on base of the night. Lewis now on first, which sends up his college teammate, Will Budnick. Budnick is 0 of 2 on the night with 2 strikeouts. Lewis taking a sizable lead at first, and that one bounces off the chest plate of Davis Turner, and Lewis actually isn't going to go. Looked like that might have been a situation in which Lewis would have sent it, but still, 1-0 count now. Corndogs have left some runners on tonight. Last inning had 2 in scoring position, and neither of them got to touch home. And Lewis now going to go this time as it's chopped by Budnick. Fumbled by Love, but the play gets back to the pitcher. Hopkinson hustles over to first and gets the first out of the inning for the second out, for the Spinners, and Lewis advances to second base. So Budnick 0 of 3 on the night, but advances his college teammate to second base and brings up Caleb Singleton, who got hit by a pitch his last at-bat, struck out prior to that. Singleton, the lefty, watches that one go down for strike number 1 looking. The big play this inning was Tyler Cotto getting tagged out at second after making a nice hit and trying to pick up an extra base, but that pitch right there is going to be ball number 1 just inside. So Corndogs haven't scored since the 3rd inning, trying to fight back in this one. Have been down since the bottom of the 1st. As the pitch from Hopkinson is fouled off home plate by Singleton, making the count 2-1 now for Singleton. So 1 out away here for the Spinners, who put up 12 runs in the first game between these two squads, a 12-0 shutout. The offense hasn't been as prolific tonight, but the defense has certainly translated from that game 1. Hopkinson trying to pick up where Braden Kurtz left off, as that's going to be a ball, or it looks like it might have hit his wrist, actually, Singleton. So regardless, we're just going to list that down as whatever you want statistically, but in terms of actual on-field action, Singleton will take first, which brings up Garrett Sanner. Sanner has popped out and lined out, so made some good contact with the ball. Yet to record an actual hit, though, as Hopkinson, working with 2 on base, 1 out away still, has that one go right down the middle for strike number 1. Sanner, the leading hit man for the Corndogs, attends Lenore Rhine. Working on an 0-1 count. The second pitch and lines it off, but will go foul right into the Corndogs dugout. And so now just 1 strike away for the Spinners, trying to hold the Corndogs scoreless for the 3rd consecutive inning. a quick moving game here from Moor Park. Both teams have made some fantastic efforts on the defensive side of the ball. Double plays, timely tags, and that one is going to keep this inning going as it bounces right into the lap of Davis Turner. So, an even 2-2 count as the pitch from Hopkinson is fouled right onto Broad Street here in Mooresville, where the Spinners call home. It's been a beautiful night here in Mooresville. At a beautiful park and a great game between these two conference foes. The Corndogs in their first season of SCBL play. The Spinners looking to defend the crown, winning the conference back-to-back seasons, as that one is picked up by the shortstop and the play made at first. Center is tagged out, and so make it no runs once again with multiple base runners for the Corndogs as we head to the bottom of the sixth with the Spinners still on top 4-2 here from Moor Park on a lovely Tuesday evening. Welcome back, everyone, for action between the Mooresville Spinners and your Queen City Corndogs. Tyler Hall working on his sixth inning of action here. The pitch count getting up for Hall, but he has held the Spinners scoreless for 4 straight as that ball is fouled way back for strike number 1. 0-2 count now on Aiden Evans, number 47. Make it 2-1 after that pitch is just low from Tyler Hall. The righty works that one in for ball number 3, so once again just low for Hall. Hall, the 6'2", 205-pounder from Waxhaw, North Carolina, brings it to a full count there after Evans fouls that one back. Good hustle there by number 32 for the Corndogs, Seth Edgerton, one of the pitchers for this QC roster, not playing tonight, or at least hasn't played tonight. Sprinting out there to retrieve that ball. So full count here, no runners on, no outs, as Evans takes time. Aiden Evans from Cornelius, North Carolina, is called out after going down in the count. Does Tyler Hall, the pitcher for the Corndogs, comes all the way back and gets Evans with a looking strikeout. Now number 6, Noah Love, up to bat for the Spinners. Love, who's homered once on the season, has a near team high with 5 hits through conference play, and now an 1-0 count after the pitch from Hall bounces into the dirt. Tyler Hall deals that one in and is lined right to center field. Singleton won't be able to get there, so a single here for Noah Love. And 1 runner on with 1 out as Davis Turner, the catcher tonight, heads up to bat. Turner, in fact, the only player on this team, or at least on the battings, the only hitter / infielder or outfielder, the only non-pitcher, we'll simplify it to that, the only non-pitcher on this Spinners roster that actually is from Mooresville, as that is going to be ball number 1, just low from Tyler Hall, who, apart from that first inning, has been working against this Spinners lineup. Love on first, taking a moderate lead, and that one is popped way up. Tracking it down is someone, and it's Miller St. John, the shortstop, getting to it in time. He and Sammy were figuring out who got it, and the Gaston College product is the one who has it. As number 7, Steven Smith, heads up to the plate. So 2 outs, 1 runner on. Tyler Hall, looking to bring this thing to the top of the 7th, has been sensational apart from that first inning. And that one is popped up and back for strike number 1 on the foul ball. Steven Smith, the junior from Salisbury, swings on that pitch, and that'll be strike number 2. Looks like Harrison Boothlet got dinged up a little as Tyler Cotto, the first baseman, as well as Boothlet, head to the mound to have a quick chat with their pitcher. And with 1 strike away from a 5th consecutive scoreless inning, those boys on the mound trying to figure out the best way to go about things to help secure that. Meanwhile, Steven Smith in an 0-2 hole here. Smith, number 7, plays on the infield and attends Emory and Henry College. One of 4 batters to attend E&H on this roster. For the Spinners, that is, as Tyler Hall reloads, situates himself, and that will be high for ball number 1. So Steven Smith with a good take right there. As a steal is attempted by Noah Love, but Steven Smith fouls that one up and back to negate any attempt of successfully stealing for his teammate. So the count stays at 2 strikes, 1 ball, and 2 outs. Tyler Hall locks, loads, fires, and just low for ball number 2. So an even count here for Steven Smith. Trying to be the spark that the Spinners might need in this 6th inning. As that pitch is low and away to bring this to a full count. Good work by Smith. As Hall has really put in a lot of pitches tonight. Don't have the exact pitch count in front of us, but nearing a ton. And that's the best way to say it, as that one is fouled towards the Spinners' dugout. Doesn't really matter the number, because regardless of the number, Tyler Hall has been really throwing a lot of pitches. So getting his second start of the season. Only allowed 2 hits in his last start and threw 3 scoreless innings with 6 strikeouts. This one a much more meticulous game, as it is popped up and tracked down by Nathan Sammy. Third out of the inning, Tyler Hall has held the Spinners scoreless for 5 straight, and that brings us to the top of the 7th, with the Spinners still on top 4-2 here on a beautiful evening at Moor Park. All right, top of the 7th inning, and what's become a defensive battle between the Spinners and the Corndogs. And the first pitch of the inning is going to be fouled off by Harrison Bouthelette. Bouthelette singled his last time up. One of 2 on the night is Bouthelette, as that one is low for ball number 1. So that one is going to be low once again, make it a 2-1 count now. Bouthelette, the lefty, takes that one for a 3rd consecutive ball, and trying to set the pace here for Queen City. Haven't scored since the 3rd inning, and that'll give them their first base runner of the inning, as Bouthelette stands in tall, gets walked, and heads over to first with Miller St. John, the second to last batter in this order for Queen City, up to the plate. St. John yet to record a hit as a Corndog through a couple of games, as he goes swinging on strike number 1 right there. 0-1 count for number 33, Andrew Hopkinson. in the game for the bootleggers. Excuse me, I'm at the Spinners. And that one is grounded to first base, and the ball is fumbled by Love. He's able to get back there in time. Made that a lot more interesting than it had to be, but nevertheless, the out made at first, but the potential for a double play goes out the window as Bouthelette heads to second.
Now batting the third baseman, number 5, Granny Sammy.
Which sends up Nathan Sammy, 0 for 1, on the night. Has also walked, and actually that's not Nathan Sammy. That's number 26, Dave Masri, who's replacing Sammy in the lineup. Never listen to the PA announcers. Word of advice here. As is David Masri up to bat for Queen City.
Pinch hitting is number 26, Moses Mosery.
Masri went 1 of 1 in game 1 yesterday, then 0 of 1 in game 2. Played more in game 1. The 1 of 1 is misleading. He got walked twice, and the one hit he had was a single. So, Masri replaces his former high school teammate, Nathan Sammy, with a runner out second, the runner being Bouthelette, 1 out, and Hopkinson deals this one high for ball number 1. Masri is batting .364 on the season, attends Williams College in Massachusetts. And now pinch hitting in the bottom of the order as that is the strike, the first strike of this at-bat. 1-1 count on Masri. As that one is now strike 2, back-to-back nice pitches there from Hopkinson on the bump. Hopkinson, who attends Eskrin College, is junior there, native of New Bern, North Carolina. Looking to build on a solid start on the mound from his teammate, and looked like his teammate right there, looking like Braden Kurtz, who started the game and had just under 10 strikeouts. So make it 2 outs now as Masri goes down swinging. And that sends up Wilson Lohr, who's 3 for 3 on the night. Each hit's been a single. The lefty from the Charlotte area takes that one high for ball number 1. Lohr has 8 hits on the season, leads the Corndogs in average, yet only has 1 RBI. And you might be thinking, oh, that's because he's leading off, but this is the first game that he's been leading off, as the pitch from Hopkinson goes right down Main Street for strike number 1. Bouthelette still on second. Corndogs have left a fair amount of runners on base and a fair amount in scoring position. This would just be another if Lohr and Queen City aren't able to capitalize, as this pitch is popped up into the left field, and it will drop. Bouthelette gets to third. Lohr racks up his 4th single in as many bats. And that brings up Cannon Pierce, who popped up last time he had 2 runners in scoring position. Pierce was frustrated after that last at-bat. Trying to bounce back now. Pierce is 0 for 3 on the night. Pop up, strike out, and fielder's choice. As Lohr is going to go, and nobody there. And that will bring home a run for the Corndogs. An error right there on the throw. Nobody had the second base covered, and that allows Harrison Bouthelette to tap home, bring this one within 1, and now Lohr gets over to third base, so 1 more in scoring position. And with a 1-0 count, a prime opportunity here with the tying run at the plate for Queen City, Cannon Pierce. The lefty has to do a little scoot back to avoid that one, so make it a 2-0 count now. That run won't go against Hopkinson, as the Throw from Davis Turner. Went right between two infielders, excuse me, but the current batter, Cannon Pierce, swings and misses on that one. So the count even at 1. Lohr at third base, the tying run. And that one is high for ball number 2. A base hit here in this game is all but even, as the Corndogs have slowly brought it back within 1, and Pierce whiffs on that one. And now a chance for Hopkinson and the Spinners to bounce back from that mental lapse on defense and head into the bottom of the 7th inning, preserving their lead. And that one is, did that hit Pierce? Or did it hit off Pierce via the bat? Not sure if that hit Pierce directly. He's taking a second to regain himself, as it looks like it's just going to be a 3-2 count. Looks like it might have just tipped off and hit Pierce, not straight from the pitcher's hand. So no automatic base for Cannon. Full count and a pivotal moment in this game. So, full count here. Wilson Lohr on third base. Huge moment in this contest as Hopkinson throws a ball. The fans here thought that was a strike, and this inning is extended as Cannon Pierce gets on base for the first time this evening. And so, runners on the corners as the most dangerous hitter in the building up to bat for Queen City. Tyler Cotto had a double in the first inning, has grounded out twice since, leading the Corndogs in home runs with 5 on the season, 5 in 12 games, and then 3 in conference play to lead the SCBL. Hopkinson has that one crushed into the outfield, but it's not going to be far enough. Is the play made? Yes, it is. Tyler Cotto tosses his bat in frustration as the Corndogs are able to get one more run, but still trail by 1, heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. All right, welcome back here. Bottom of the 7th inning, Spinners still on top, but the Corndogs got a run in the top half of the inning as the first pitch from the new pitcher skids by Harrison Bouthillette, and the new pitcher in question is Connor Bailey. Connor Bailey, who just joined the Corndogs after he and his collegiate team, the Xavier Musketeers, were in the NCAA tournament. Now Bailey heads back to Charlotte, the native of Ohio does, for his summer season, and he's making his second appearance tonight. It has a 1-1 count right now against Cole Drury, who hit a 2-run home run in the top of the second to give the Spinners their last 2 runs, as it's been a while since we've seen a run. In fact, it's been 6 innings long since we've seen a run from this Spinner squad, and now Bailey working on a 1-2 count. Bailey pops that one back, or has it popped back, I should say. Keeping the count at 1-2, Bailey made his season debut over the weekend versus the Copperheads, and in 2 innings allowed not a single hit, struck out 3 batters, and obviously no runs allowed either, as that one is outside for ball number 2. Bailey entering his senior season now that the Musketeers are out of the NCAA tournament. 6'4", 205 pounds, a big presence on the mound for the Corndogs, trying to keep them within this game as the off-speed goes in for strike number 3. Connor Bailey, welcome to Moor Park, picking up where Tyler Hall left off. As number 30, Jacob Beber, steps up to bat for his Spinners. Bailey now with 4 strikeouts in 2 innings and change on the season. Bailey, as we mentioned, coming down from Ohio, both collegiately and his hometown to play for the Spinners this summer. As that pitch is fouled back against the netting. 0-1 count now on Beber. Bailey made 14 appearances on the season for the Musketeers with a 6.5 ERA. As that pitch is whiffed on by Beber, and an 0-2 count for Connor Bailey on the mound, wearing 28. Bailey attended Walsh Jesuit. And it's been a whirlwind of a past few weeks for him. Traveling for a strikeout right there as Bailey, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. As I was saying, Bailey is playing in the Big East tournament with the Musketeers. Then went to the NCAA tournament where they were in the Nashville regional, playing at Vanderbilt's home stadium. His Musketeers actually eliminated the 6th overall seed Vanderbilt from the tournament. Wouldn't advance after losing to number 3 Oregon. And now coming back here immediately after for summer ball and looking like he hasn't missed a step, as that is another swinging strike, and Connor Bailey working on a near perfect inning. 2 outs, no runners on here for the Spinners. Fully up at the plate for Mooresville. Bailey throws that one right down Main Street for strike number 2. And only 1 strike away here from the Corndogs, getting this thing to the top of the 8th. A defensive battle in this conference game after the Spinners took the first match between these two, 12-0, and that is fouled off. Watch out at any vehicles. That one might hit a sunroof. As the count still at 0-2. Jared Foley, the senior from Emory and Henry College, trying to get the first hit of this inning for the Spinners, as that pitch is an off speed that just goes above the zone for ball number 1. Count now 1-2. And the Spinners haven't scored since the first inning still. Connor Bailey trying to make sure that stays that way as the Xavier product locks, loads, fires, and that one is not going to be baited on. So a 2-2 count now on Foley. Good job by Foley, not biting on that one. Which brings us a 2-2 pitch from Bailey. He fires this one in, and it's high for ball number 3. So Foley has worked his way all the way back in this count. Make it full now. Still no runners on, 2 outs. As Bailey takes the pitch in, is fouled straight up and straight. So Jared Foley really sticking with this at-bat. Went down 0-2 all the way to a full count and has fouled off multiple to keep it that way. Corndogs, 1 pitch away from getting this thing to the top of the 8th. The pitch from Bailey is in for strike 3. Connor Bailey, how do you do? 3 strikeouts in 3 at-bats, and the Xavier Musketeer, fresh off his NCAA tournament run with his squad, comes back to the Tar Heel State and gives the Corndogs 3 much-needed outs, headed to the top of the 8th, still down 1 here in Moor Park. We'll be right back for the 8th after this quick break.
Corndogs, right fielder number 42.
Top of the 7th inning, top of the 8th inning, pardon me, as the first pitch that Dylan Lewis sees is grounded over and a broken bat. That one snapped right down the middle.
Ray with the firewood.
So the splinters recovered by Caleb Singleton for his teammate Dylan Lewis. So Lewis grounds out here to start things off in the top of the 8th inning. Corndogs trying to mount a comeback that's been meticulous, but nevertheless a comeback. 3-4 game. Spinners still on top, have led since the bottom of the first, and a new pitcher in the game. And the first strike of this at bat, the pitcher for the Spinners is number 4, Max Mole, sophomore from Caldwell Community College, making the appearance. And that one is lined fair. Budnick gets a nice angle on that grounder and drives it into right field. Goes all the way towards the foul post, and so a single here for Will Budnick. And the tying run now at second base, which sends up Caleb Singleton. After the double, Singleton has reached base twice tonight, but yet to record a hit. He was hit by a pitch once, possibly twice. We're still unsure about whether the second one was a hit by pitch, but with a runner in scoring position and only one out, no outs actually. Wait, there should be one out. The scoreboard light again. So, a quick little game reset. 4-3 in favor of the Spinners. Budnick on second base. 0-1 count now on Singleton, the lefty, with one out here in the top of the 8th inning. And that one chopped off towards the Corndogs dugout for strike number 2. Singleton has to protect the plate now. On deck is Garrett Sanner. The middle of the order for this Queen City roster tonight. As Budnick chilling at second, with Singleton popping that one up towards the dugout of the Spinners and just out of play. So Singleton staying with it, doing a solid job in the box right now. Still down 0-2 though. Mole, the sophomore from Alexander, North Carolina, has yet to allow a run in 3 innings of action this season for the Spinners. Checks back on second base. And that's going to be ball number 1, just outside. That one had some of the fans here up out of their seats, thinking that they got the penultimate out of this inning. So the count now at 1-2, still very much so in favor of Mole and his Mooresville squad. Budnick taking a moderate lead at second as this pitch is crushed, but gonna go foul from Singleton. That one got a lot of behind it. Singleton puts some barrel on that pitch to keep himself in the count right here. Still 1-2, and Mole just trying to put the Lander University product away right now. Singleton takes this pitch and crushes it into the outfield, but it is going to be caught. Will Budnick, however, will take a trot to third base, tag, and now the tying run on third base for the Corndogs with Garrett Sanner up to bat for Queen City. Singleton made some nice contact with that one, but just not enough. As Garrett Sanner, who is 0 for 3 on the night, but leads the Corndogs in hits on the season, and boy, could they use one right now. Mole winds this one up, and it is in there for strike number 1. So an 0-1 count on Sanner. Make it 1-1 after that pitch is low and away from Mole. And a pivotal moment in this game. Corndogs trying to tie this thing up. Sanner only has 3 RBIs on the year. Can make it 4 as that one way over to third base. The play is made. So Sanner is going to be thrown out at first, and the Spinners survive, having Will Budnick on third base. So now 1 inning for the Corndogs to tie this game up, and that is if they can get out of the bottom of the 8th inning without giving up any runs, which we'll see if they can do after this quick break. All right, bottom of the 8th inning here. Corndogs down 3-4 to the Spinners here at Moor Park. Spinners haven't scored since the first inning, yet still retain the lead as Mason Lyda gets the first at-bat for Mooresville and takes ball 1. Retaking the mound for the Corndogs is number 28, Connor Bailey, who struck out the side in his last inning of work. The Corndogs pitching staff has been sensational tonight as that pitch is just outside for ball number 2. Bailey now in 3 innings pitched on the season has 6 strikeouts. And yet to give up a hit is Bailey, as that pitch is high for ball number 3. And now the Corndogs, specifically Bailey, at risk of giving up his first base runner of the game, went 1-2-3 in relief of Tyler Hall, who had a sensational start tonight, as that is going to be the first base runner for Bailey tonight. As Lyda takes the walk to first, and that will send up number 8, Wyatt Stone. Stone, the last batter in the order for the Spinners, trying to help Mooresville get back on the scoreboard for the first time since early in this contest. Looked like this one could have been an offensive showdown, but it's been anything but that. So that pitch is fouled off right there for strike number 1 against Wyatt Stone. Stone, who entered this game 2 of 4 in 3 contests of SCBL action. As Bailey winds this one up, and it's going to be high for ball number 1. On deck is Adams Fawcett, the leadoff man for this Spinners squad. Bailey surveys first. And the runner is going to go, but the ball will go foul, so a long walk back there for Mason Lyda. So the count now at 1-2. No outs, Lyda at first after the 4-pitch walk. The lefty, Stone, gearing up in the box with Bailey, dealing this one in, and that's going to be a strikeout, his 4th of the game. Connor Bailey not showing any signs of slowing down here. Make it 7 strikeouts in 3 innings on the season. And now the top of the order up here for the Spinners. Adam Fawcett hitting 1 out of every 3 pitches, getting a hit 1 out of every 3 at-bats that he takes. The lefty from Limestone getting his first look at Connor Bailey and looks at that one go ball for the first pitch of the at-bat. Corndogs only have 3 outs left in this game if they want to make a comeback, but that starts on the defensive side of the ball and making sure no more runs are allowed. And with 1 base runner on, a 1-0 count and 1 out. Connor Bailey, the man that manager Jeff Pluta chose to take on that tall task right here. Winner of this game will be first place in the SCBL as the runner is going to go. Bouthelette throws over to second, and the tag is made. Harrison Bouthelette with a laser over to Miller St. John, who applies the tag on Mason Lyda and gets the second out of the inning for the Corndogs. Now the count, which sits at 2-0 for Fawcett at the plate, has a little less significance as Fawcett no longer has a base runner to work with. Great throw right there from Harrison Bouthelette. And That one is going to be strike one, tipped off by Fawcett. And that play on defense came just at the right moment for Queen City, keeping them within one run for the time being, as that's strike number 2 right down Central Avenue. And Connor Bailey on the verge of picking up his 5th K of the game. Bailey locks, loads, fires, and that's going to be inside for ball number 3. Full count here, as in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Spinners trying to extend this lead that they've been unable to grow since they attained it at the bottom of the 1st. Really a testament to the Corndogs pitching staff. Tyler Hall had a great bounce back, as that's going to be a swing and a miss, make it 5 strikeouts for Connor Bailey, making light work of the Spinners and bringing this thing to the top of the 9, where the Spinners are still up 4-3. Home stretch coming up after this quick break. The stakes at a season high for the Corndogs in this early portion of the SCBL slate. Queen City trying to attain first place and could do so with a win over this Spinner squad, but going to take some work here. Down 1 in the top of the 9th, down to 3 outs for the Corndogs, with Harrison Bouthelette up at bat, leading things off, and has back-to-back strikes. And a nice start for the new pitcher in the game for the Spinners. That's number 7, Steven Smith, who has a position player taking the mound. Smith, a junior from Salisbury, North Carolina, throws that one just outside for ball number 1. So it's a 1-2 count now on Harrison Bouthelette. The Spinners faithful displeased with that call, to say the least, as Smith has that one fouled back by Booth-Alette. So, keeping himself alive in the count is Booth-Alette. Booth-Alette is 1 for 2 on the night. Got walked in his last at-bat. Did number 37. The native of Indian Land, South Carolina, has 7 hits on the season and strikes out there to give the Spinners their first out of the inning, and now just 2 left here if the Spinners want any chance of, if the Corndogs, that is, want any chance of coming back in this one. And a pinch hitter into the game for Miller St. John. St. John ended the night 0 of 3 and is being replaced by number 33, Peter Gullo. Gullo recorded an RBI yesterday. The Anderson University product, stepping in for his first at-bat of the evening, and it comes at a crucial time in this game with 2 outs for the Spinners to go. And the bottom of the order here for the Corndogs, Gullo, then Dave Masri up on deck. Stephen Smith got a strikeout in his first sequence of at-bat of the game and picks up where he left off after that little break. And so an 0-1 count now on Gullo. Gullo, who plays first base as well, now down in the count 0-2, took 2 strikes looking, and Stephen Smith looks like he is locked in here, trying to get his Spinners the home win and a season 2-0 lead on the Corndogs, as that pitch is up high for ball number 1. Smith was playing along the infield tonight. Hops on the mound and now gets his second strikeout in 2 batters. So down to 1 out are the Corndogs, and the fate of this game lies in the bat of Dave Masri, number 26 for Queen City. Masri, batting .364 on the year, struck out his last time. And now Masri sees pitch 1 go low for ball 1. The Corndogs, if this game holds with the result it does, can't blame the pitching after the first inning. And a great day on the mound for both teams, really, as that pitch is whiffed on by Masri. So now 2 strikes away here for the Spinners. Stephen Smith in a zone right now. Masri watches that one go high for ball number 2. Davis Turner looked to have framed that one pretty convincingly, as that is low for ball number 3. After Masri, Wilson Lohr's on deck, and Lohr has gone 4 of 4 on the night with 4 singles, so the guy you want up. But first, Masri's got to finish this at bat. 3-1, no runners on. Stephen Smith has that one go in for strike number 2, and a full count here with the game on the line. Stephen Smith locks, loads, fires, and a hit that's going to go over to third base. The skip will get the out, and the Spinners take game 2 of the season series against the Corndogs by a final score of 4-3. Stephen Smith closes the door on Queen City and sends the Corndogs home with a loss. The Corndogs are going to be back in action after a day off tomorrow. They'll play again on Wednesday in Albemarle against the Uwahari Wampus Cats. We'll have coverage of that game on Thursday at 7. But for tonight, that's all. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jonah Weintraub, and you've been watching Queen City Corndogs baseball here from